the ragadveshas, I am getting carried away. So what is the solution? Solution is to remember this knowledge all the time. That means all the time I should be aware, even while transacting, I should be aware, just like an actor in the drama is always aware that I am not this role that I am playing, I am really an actor. He never forgets that he is an actor and his role in playing. He may be a king or a beggar and etc. and all that. He may be kicking his own friend, but who is acting as an enemy there in the drama. All that can go on, but after the drama is over, then when you go to Green's room, it's remove the Vesham and come back to the original. In the Ramana Maharshi says, Isha Jiva Yoho Veshadi Vida Sattva Bhavato Vastu Kevalam. So Ishaha, Jivaha, Vesham only different. Vesham is a costume that you wear, which makes you look different from what you are. That's a costume. That's what Vesham is. And when you remove the Vesham, you can wear the Vesham, but don't forget you are the original guy, even in that costume. That's why I am picking different roles or Veshams. Role is, I am a father, I am a mother, I am an employee, I am a son, I am this, I am that. All those are roles that you are playing. Play the role. You are taking that Vesham there, but play the role, remind that you are an actor. That means you are Sat Swarupam. That's an actor. Means I am playing this role, but my true nature is I am that. That is the Nididhyasanam, where constant remembrance of your true nature is Nididhyasanam. If you don't remember it because of the remnant ragadveshas will pull you down and you forget that you are Atma, you get involved, I am only this role. Because when you are involved in so much in the role, you forget that you are original actor. That's all implication is. So therefore, Nididhyasana is constant remembrance of your true nature in and through all your transactions. He is Nididhyasana. That is, therefore, what should I do for Nididhyasana? Constantly remember. So it is Jnana Nishtha, it's called. Drudhaiva Nishtha. The Ramana Maharshi called this as Drudhaiva Nishtha. Firm abidance in the knowledge takes place when I am fully established anytime, anywhere. This I know. And is this, now from now on I know, yesterday until yesterday I don't know. It's not like that. This is a gradual process. According to Paramarthanandaji, it's called the FIR reduction. He calls it called FIR reduction. What is the FIR reduction? He gives always abbreviations for it. F means frequency of perturbation from this understanding. That is F. I is intensity of disturbance, perturbation. And R is recovery time from perturbation state. Perturbed state. So as you get established in the knowledge that I am in fact is that which is sarvadhishthanam, that is that which is substratum for whole universe, as I get more and more and more and establish my frequency of perturbation from that understanding goes down. Occasionally, intense raga dveshas that are there buried in my deep, in my unconscious may come up, called the Gaudapada calls it as kashayam. That may come and disturb me, but the frequency becomes less and less as I evolve. So it's not a discrete process. It may take a whole lifetime itself. How long I have to do? Until you kick the bucket. But you have the knowledge. So this is only in terms of when you are transacting. Knowledge will never go. Once Vedanta is planked, that never will go. And yet jnatva aparam me param ge. Say there is nothing more for you to know also. That's what we are going to do next. And intensity perturbation also goes down. Even though you may be disturbed, it goes down immediately, and that recovery time also goes down. How long it takes for me to recover back that I am, in fact, that also goes down as you, in fact, goes down unconsciously without your own knowledge also. Provided this knowledge has to keep coming in. So how does it keep coming in? By constantly listening to the scriptures. I already understood. Now it's not for understanding, it's for abiding in the knowledge. Okay? So don't stop coming for Memorial Day camps. What it means. See, even though you have understood, it has to be constantly keep reminding, your mind has to go into that. That is part of nididhyasanam. Once you understood, once you have no more doubts, it becomes a nididhyasanam. Constantly talking about it, constantly writing about it, constantly thinking about it. And if you can find some unfortunate people, constantly lecturing about it. This is called nididhyasanam. That is the definition the Sureshwara Acharya gives. And some traditional Acharya says, no, you have to sit down in one place and contemplate and do dhyana, meditation, that I am that Brahman. Atmecheyopasita, you are that Brahman, you are that Atma. Has to be upasanam, has to be constantly contemplated on. So that is traditional way of explaining, where I am constantly sitting in one place, therefore I need a asanam, and all that becomes essential for me to contemplate until you become into that state of the nididhyasana. But Upanishad also says Atmarati and Atmakrida, the words are used. Atmarati is when I am sitting in the state of meditation and contemplating, I am reveling in myself. Whereas I am still going out in the world, I am playing with myself, because everything is myself only. Play involves two, right? But two is where I and he, or I and she, or I and it, all that, but it is nothing but me only. But for drama, we are playing this game. So we can play. So that is the nididhyasatavya. So even though I have understood, I have no more doubts, still has to be done. Constant listening to scriptures is the best way of nididhyasana. And constantly contemplate whenever, wherever you can. This is the process. Now, say, Atmano are darshanena, sravanena, matya, vijnanedam sarvam viditi. So how can Sureshwara say that this nididhyasana is same as abiding only in the knowledge, by same thing, by listening, sravanena, mananena? Because it says, Yajnavalkya himself says, he says, darshanena drashtavyaha, sravanena srotavyaha, mantya, this is mananena, says vijnanena idam sarvam viditam. By all this, I will understand this is nothing but whole Atma. So this is essentially, nididhyasana is essentially the result of that. There is no sadhana there. It is the result of what you have done, Sravana Manana. So after this camp, what should I do? That's our question. Constant remembrance of this knowledge whenever, wherever you can. And that can be aided by listening to the scriptures, reading about the scriptures, writing about the scriptures. All that will help in this, so that in the process you are automatically withdrawing your mind in indulging unnecessarily things. Necessary things you have to do. Whatever that is nitya, naimittika karmas that you are doing, whatever you have to go to office, yes, go to office, and but whenever, wherever you can contemplate, this becomes a means for you. Okay, that's one. Now the question is idam sarvam viditam. This therefore is nothing but atma jnanam is nothing but sarva jnanam bhavati, is an essential statement. Says, how can that be? Knowing now who I am, he says, how can I know everything? Because in the scripture also, in the Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Kasmin no bhagavo vijñāti sarvamvedam vijñātam bhavati. There's a sloka there. So a student will ask, says, oh sir, please teach me that knowledge by which I know everything. That's a very daring asking. Because we know in any science, the more you know, the more ignorant you become. Because the more you know, you will see you will know a lot more things that you don't know, which you didn't know before. So ignorance is a bliss. But now you are becoming a specialization of smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller of until it disappears. There is no more that you can do. So that is the nature of objective knowledge. And that's why scripture is going to tell you all that is not knowledge at all. That is avidya. Hey. What is vidya is that which reveals the totality, knowledge. What is that knowledge? That recognition that this is nothing but you only. But then there is nothing else to know. Everything is me. Only names and forms are changing. Once I know it is gold, you can bring thousands of ornaments of different varieties. I know all this, nothing but gold. I may not know the details of this ring versus details of the other ring, the ODs, ID, all the diameter, the ellipsis, all those unnecessarily details I may not know. But I know the essential values, it came from gold, sustained by gold, and go back into gold. Once I know the whole thing is coming from me, sustained by me, and goes back into me, because when I am awake, the whole world is there. When I am dreaming, another world is there. When I am deep sleeping, no world is there. I am there. I am beyond all these worlds. But when I realize who I am, then I can go to deep sleep state with the knowledge that I am this also. I may not know at that time that I am the jnana. Because any jnana is only reflected knowledge. Pure consciousness doesn't need to know. That is the understanding of what exactly. So Atma Jnana and Sarva Jnanam Bhavati, says that is essentially is a declarative statement here. By knowing myself, I know everything. So how do you know, sir? How can you prove that by knowing yourself you know everything? Because I have to be there to show that something else is there. Without me, you cannot establish the existence of anything in the world. And it is my mind has to be there. I have to be there, and I have to lend support to my mind. Mind is also an instrument. And me with the mind will say, this is subject and that's object. Both subject and objects are thoughts in the mind, and they are in me. So whole world is in me. Everything is rising in me and sustained by me and goes back into me. If my mind is not there to support anything, no world is there, sir. Therefore, I pervade this whole universe. If I know who I am the conscious existence, because every thought is nothing but existence of an object out there is taken as existence of a thought, and I, the consciousness, has to join the existence for me to be conscious of the existence of this world outside. So without me to support this, how can there be any existence of anything established? Oh, I can establish, you can go to sleep, but I can establish. But you are not there. For me to see you, I have to be awake. If I go to sleep, you are also not there. Who are you? That is clear understanding of Vedanta. Yet, this is Upahita Chaitanyam. This has to be very clear, because people get a lot of confusion about, so once I am Jnani, then I won't see the world and all that. He's going to explain all that here in this properly. Once I am Jnani, I understand, I pervade this entire universe in different names and forms. That is what Atma Eva Upasita. That's what, where Sarvam, everything is Atma Tattvam. Tattvam is the truth about everything is me only, the truth. The other things is untruth, the superficialities can be superimposed. But I am the essence of everything has to be understood. It is the essence of the gold everything is. So looking at the ring, I say, sir, this is a ring. Really? I am looking at the ring. So what is the ring? So it is gold, golden ring. So I say, where is gold? Everywhere it's gold. Inside, outside, every part of that ring is nothing but gold only. So it is gold and ring. Once I look at this gold, where is the ring? It's only gold. There's no ring. You call it this is the ring, but it's only gold. No value for the ring. It's ring. There's no ring substance there. It's only gold only. If you think I'll take the gold, you take the ring. If it's yours, I can do that. You cannot. I cannot remove the gold and give you a ring. Ring has no substance of its own. So if I understand everything is nothing but existent consciousness that I am, that understanding is not just at the thought level, but as a factual level. And to make it factual level, I had to do nididhyasanam. Even though I understand intellectually, logically, and also Vedantic Pramana also. So in fact, Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam Bhavati. This is the statement of fact, and this is true. That's how the Chandogya Upanishad Sadvidya starts. I don't know if you remember that, where the son Svetaketu, he thought he knew everything, and he was boasting himself that he had learned a lot of things. So the father wants to put him in place. Says, Beta, have you learned, knowing which you know everything? So how can that be? That's not possible, impossible, he says. So why? If I know chemistry, I won't know biology, I don't know the zoology, I don't know I wish it's like that. If I know chemistry, then I don't have to learn anything else. But if I know something, I don't know other things. How can that be possible? And it says it can be possible, provided under conditions where if it is a cause, then the effects are all known. What kind of cause? If it's a material cause, then the products is nothing but the same cause into different effects. If I know gold, this is an example from this Chandogya only. It's not my example. So, yatha soumya ekena lohamanina sarvam lohamayam vijnata vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam lohamityeva satyam. That's one example he gives. He gives another 3 examples there. Ekena mrutpindena sarvam unmayam vijnata vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrityakityeva satyam. Yatha soumya ekena nakanikruntrena sarvam kashnayasam vijnata. The nakanikruntra is nail cutter. They used to have nail cutters at the time. So nail cutters are made up with the black iron. They didn't have stainless steel, maybe. So once I know it is nothing but black, all the tools made up of that is known. Once I know gold, all the ornaments that are made of gold are known. If it is the material cause, then all the effects are nothing but same material with different names and forms. That's called upadana karanam. Upadana means it's a material cause. So what is the material cause for the whole universe? So that because of which the whole universe came, by which it is sustained, into which goes back. That's what the statement from Taittiriya. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, ena jatani jivanti, yatrayam sabhisam vishanti. That is Brahman. From which the whole universe came, by which it is sustained, into which it goes back. But universe is nothing but the objects. Objects are the existence of the object is known only by the knowledge of their existence. Knowledge comes through the mind. All nothing but the thoughts in the mind. So thoughts are sustained by me. They rise in me. They are sustained by me. They go back into me. So I am the very source for which the whole universe is there. That understanding becomes the real understanding where Atma Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam Bhavati. By knowing myself, I know the entire universe also. So that is for Atmane Drashtavyaha. That's what I had to see in and through the teaching. That is called Aparoksha Jnanam. That is direct and immediate, because it's not the self that I had to sit and meditate somewhere. It is me. I am there all the time. Therefore, I am Nitya Mukta Swarupaha. All the time I am there. Every time is there. Nityam, I am always there. And once all I have to do is recognize Lift the block that is blocking my vision of myself by Sravana and Manana. And every time I block, I have to remove it, so Nididhyasana, until I won't block it anymore with my remnant raga dveshas. So Nididhyasana is required for those who are Nachiketas. I don't know if you know Nachiketas. Nachiketa is a student where he learns, young boy goes to the Yamadharmaraja and learns the teaching. And he has the utmost vairagya and the chitta suddhi, purity of the mind is there. And Yamadharmaraja praises the boy to the heavens so much. The quality of the student. When I was there, I didn't have even this much knowledge, this much purity of the mind. And if you are already Nachiketa, one camp is enough. But otherwise, we still have next year also Memorial Day camp and so on. So for that only, until the Chitta Suddhi, purity of the mind is established, we have to keep listening to the scriptural teaching until this is abiding knowledge. My knowledge, that which always there present for me whenever situation arises, this is there constantly available. That is what is currently required. So, in the next mantra, sixth mantra, which is also quoted very well by Shankara and other people, and the actual teaching of Shravanam of Maitreyi takes place. So we have Shravanam mantra, there is a Mananam mantras also are there in this, and in the end we will go for home where we have to do Nididhyasana. Again, number 6. Brahma tam paradajyo anyatra atmano Brahma veda kshatram tam paradajyo anyatra atmanaha kshatram veda lokastam paraduryo Anyat atmano lokan veda devastam paraduryo anyatra atmano devan veda bhutani tam paraduryo anyatra atmano bhutani veda sarvam tam paradajyo Anyatra atmanaha sarvam veda idam brahma idam kshatram ime lokaha ime devaha imani bhutani idam sarvam yadayamatma idam sarvam yadayamatma idam sarvam yadayamatma. Why am I repeating same thing? That statement is another statement Shankara quotes left and right everywhere. Idam sarvam yadayamatma. This statement is somewhat similar to the Brihadaranyaka, the Gita statement also. Yeah? Brahmarpanam brahmahavi brahmajño brahmanahudam brahmaivatena gantavyam brahmakarma samadhina. No, we are not going for lunch, but this is the sloka is talk. There are certain things implied. We say it's sloka for going to meals time, but this is the statement given, and the statement is Brahmarpanam brahmahavi is meant for a Grihastha. Because only Grihastha does this homam. So the teaching is for Grihastha only. So you don't have to take sannyasa. That's why Krishna is very, very, very clever. He says, because he knows that he has so many wives, he cannot leave all of them. So it says you can be right where you are. So how is that? Brahma Arpanam, because the same commentary of that is provided here. That's why I'm giving more detail. Where this is quoted because instead of Brahman, Atma is used. Because everything about Brahma is this, Brahma is this. No, myself is that. So this is Advaita Vedanta teaching itself comes into picture. So therefore, Sarvam Yadayam Atma, everything is nothing but Atma. Before that we'll go other statements, those are examples. Several examples he is giving. He says, Brahma Tambaradharyo Anyatra Atmano Brahma Veda. Says, if I think I am a Brahmin, suppose you say, if you have that, there are two interpretations of this. So I am a Brahmin, he is a Kshatriya, he is Vaishya, he is Shudra, all those if you try to differentiate, this is this, this is that, if you try. So if you exclude by the process of identification, you are excluding other things in the process. Follow now, what I am saying is, when you identify yourself with I am this, you are not that. So inclusion always involves an exclusion of other things, and therefore there is always a problem. I and this, and therefore duality crystallizes, and whenever there is a duality, you have a problem. As we see in the waking state and the dream state. Deep sleep state, no duality. So therefore, this example says, this is Brahmin. If you say, then you are excluding somebody. Either you are excluding yourself, that I am not a Brahmin, or excluding other fellow is Kshatriya, other fellow is this. Therefore, identification with any locality also involves exclusion of what you are not also. And therefore, there is differences come into picture. And whenever there is a differences come into picture, the differences you think is real, then you have a real problem. And all samsara starts. So here he is giving a different example here. This is because the husband is teaching very delicately to the wife, giving so many examples. This is true not only in the Iromba you saw so many examples in terms of husband loves wife and wife husband loves, all those things. There are so many examples is given. Here also he is giving so many examples to prove his point. And whenever the examples are given, which says Drishtanta, it is called Anumana Pramana, where I have to use a logic involved, where it is a Shastriya Anumana, not Lokika Anumana, where Shastram has to be supporting here. See, Brahma Tam Paradadyo Anyatra Atmano Brahma Veda. So when I say he is a Brahmin or I am a Brahmin, so when I say he is a Brahmin, then I am differentiating one Brahmin from other Brahmin or Brahmin from other people. Or also when I say I am a Brahmin, you have Abhimana that I am this as a superior and he is the other guy. All these things are, whenever you do, you are gone. Because Idam Sarvam Yadayam Atma, everything is nothing but this Atma alone. I am Brahman, I am that, I am this. Then what is the difference? Difference is only names and form for transaction, otherwise it has no meaning. Including I am a sannyasi is also another superimposition. Including I am not a sannyasi, that's also another superimposition. Anything you add becomes a problem unless you deliberately add for Vesham. You deliberately take a Vesham for transactions. So you have to differentiate transactional reality to paramarthika reality. But what you abide is transactional reality is mithya. It's not really real, but I can play the game. So game of playing life is not a problem if I understand it clearly. Otherwise I should be exclusively in a place where I don't see any of the world at all, nothing to do with the world. Then go ahead. Nobody bothers about it. But as long as you are in the world, as long as you depend, you need a shelter, you need whether ashram, you need, doesn't matter whether it's sannyasi, you live somewhere, ashram, you need somewhere. Then all this, you need to have bhiksha. Somebody has to give bhiksha for you. then you depend on something else. Then it should be knowledge has to be there, correct knowledge, while you are transacting in the world. So here, each one is taken here. One is Brahma means Brahmin. Says then is a Kshatriya is Kshatriya. Lokana, all the lokastam, come everything else. Devastam, even gods. And this is Bhutani, Panchabhutani, and Sarvam Tambaradadjo Anyatra Atmanaha. So when I exclude something, other one excludes me. This is how the Brihadaranyaka says. So when I exclude, he is a Brahmin, the Brahmin will exclude me. This is not a Brahmin type. So when Ku Klux Klan, we are all Ku Klux Klan. We are all haters of black people or whatever. But they love each other. Why? Their love is bringing them as an organization, because without the love they cannot organize themselves. They love, but they hate other people because by exclusive process, but whatever the difference are. So anytime, every time you magnify the difference, you have a problem. This is my child, but the other child is not mine. We have a problem. If I have the vision, every child is the same, they have universal loveness comes into picture. So universal loveness, everything, but if you include everything, nothing but me, then how can I hate anybody? Because everything is me only. I don't love myself. So therefore, inclusion of everything is essentially idam sarvam yadayam atma. Everything is nothing but this idam sarvam yat ayam atma. This atma is everything. That has to be understood. So that is what is the teaching of Yajnavalkya to Maitreyi. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail here. This statement, idam sarvam yadayam atma, is called samanadhikaranam. Samanadhikaranam means if something is used in the same case, all are, then they are called samanadhikaranam. Samanadhikaranam means there is equal weight. So one has to interpret properly. How to interpret this? So this tattvam asi, you are samanadhikaranam. So different acharyas have interpreted the same statement differently using the same samanadhikaranam basis. So how? This is what Shankara gives a beautiful explanation in Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. I gave one talk here a long time ago. It says Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. It says Aham Brahma Arpanam. Brahma Arpanam is this ladle that I use, pouring ghee into the fire is Arpanam. That's Arpanam is ladle. He is Brahman. It is Samanadhikaranam. Arpanam, Brahman is same case. So Arpanam is equal to Brahman. That's what the implication is. So how do we explain? Brahman is infinite, number one. Brahman is Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman, number two. This Arpanam is inert. There is no Chaitanyam there. And it is very finite, it is so small. How can you say Arpanam is Brahman? Remember, Krishna is saying. So we have to understand what it is. This is called Samanadhikarana. There are 4 types of Samanadhikarana that for explanation wise is called Visheshana Samanadhikarana. Number 1. Aikya Samanadhikarana. Number 2. So first let's say Visheshana Samanadhikarana. Visheshana means those are even though used as in the same order of same case, one is an adjective, another is a noun. That's called a Visheshana Vishesha Sambandha. And Neelam Utpalam, example, a blue lotus. Blue is noun and lotus is also noun. But blue is the adjective for the lotus, is blue lotus. So even though they are used in the noun forms, one is a Visheshanam, another is Vishesham. Vishesham is an object, locus for the attributes. Blueness rests on the lotus. I cannot remove blue somewhere and lotus somewhere, right? Inseparable, the Visheshana Vishesha Sambandha. That means the adjective and the noun cannot be separated. That is one kind of samana. And this is how Bhagavan Ramanuja interprets Tattvamasi as Visheshana Vishesha Sambandha. Why? You are not the total, but you are only attributes of the total Virat Purusha, and this you are one of them as a part, and also is called as a Visesha. That's called Visishta Advaita, because Visheshana. Jiva are Visheshanam for him. That is a Visishta Advaita. The same statement of Tattvamasi is interpreted there. There is Aikya Samaradha. It says equal emphasis of both. Dasarataha putraha Lakshmana grajaha Ramaha. For example, you understand what it is. He is the son of Dasaratha. He is, you cannot Sitapati. He is Rama. All Vishnu Sahasranama, everything, or say each one indicating the same thing, but each has samana adhikarana. Each one is enough to indicate that. Not that there are so many, Dasaraputra separate and Sitapati is separate, Lakshmana Girja, brother of Lakshmana is separate. They are not Ramas, they are not four people, there is only one person coming. But yet, they are used in samana, in equal emphasis, but only is further qualifying what that Rama is only. Called this, all the Vishnu Sahasranama, Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaro, each one is indicating of Vishnu. That's called Sahasranama. Each name is sufficient. Then there is a Upasanayam Samanadhikaranam. This is the third one. I told you already two, right? The first one is Visheshana Vishesha. Then it is the Aikya Samanadhikarana. Then Upasanayam Samanadhikarana. So Upasana, for the Upasana's sake, we equate things. When you go to a temple and say, this is Vishnu, this is Lord Vishnu. I thought Vishnu is Vaikuntha. And he is obviously consciousness, this is a stone. How can this stone is Vishnu? If you ask, this is Upasana. For Upasana, invoke the presence of the Vishnu, even though it's not really Vishnu, but you are invoking the presence of Vishnu for your prayers. So, Bhagavan Ramanuja interprets Brahmarpanam as Upasana Samanadhikarana. Arpan has to be worshipped as Brahman, this has to be worshipped as Brahman, and everything is worshipped as Brahman. It's not Brahman. It has to be worshipped in Brahman. Upasana is not Jnanam. Okay? These are three. And the last one, what Advaita subscribes, is Bhadayam Samanadhikaranam. Bhadayam Samanadhi, where I had to drop, that's called essentially the Bhagatyaga Lakshanam, where Tattvamasi, where I and whole universe cannot be same at the word meaning, but I had, since the scripture is saying, then I had to drop something to understand what exactly the equation is. That's called Bhada. Bhada means you have to remove something. What Bhada? Bhada means eliminating. So what is that I eliminate? So when I say Soyam Devadattaha, he says this is that Devadatta. He doesn't look like that Devadatta we carried to a long time ago in a different place. He's a so cute boy. Everybody is carrying around. This is ugly looking this fellow. How can this be Devadatta? But a teacher says Soyam Devadattaha. He is that Devadatta. So what am I doing? Wow, this is the Devadatta. My God, what a change. Immediate knowledge. Because I know that Devadatta and I am being introduced this Devadatta as same guy. Therefore, I remove all contradictory qualifications of that Devadatta and this Devadatta, and only equate the essence of this Devadatta and that Devadatta, and that essence is only one, and I understood what exactly you mean. Where, even though it is Samanadhikara, even though it is the same, two meanings of the same, I dropped out some of the things to make it a sense out of it. That exactly Brahmarpanam. This ladle is Brahma. How can it be? Because the ladle is nothing but existence expressed in the form of ladle. It is the existence alone, and existence is indivisible. It is expressing as the very source of this. Therefore, I have to reject all that bhagatyagam, only equate that is which is essence. So I am Brahman. I am so tiny guy, and Brahman is infinite. How can I be that? It's impossible. Advaita is teaching something nonsense. I am is the existent consciousness that I am. Brahman is also existent consciousness. You remove everything that is opposite to each other, the virodhas of I am and virodhas of Brahman, and only equate that which is the common for both. That is the essence of Tattvamasi statement. That is the statement here. What this scripture is Idam sarvam yadayam atma. This entire universe, the idam sarvam is entire universe that you are talking about, is yat ayam atma, is indeed that is that atma, that self that I am. So this is a really Mahavakya statement. Mahavakya means where the identity of oneness with the totality. Tattvamasi is Mahavakya. So this Jiva Aikya Bodhaka Vakyam is called Mahavakyam. And there are similar Mahavakyas. We take only example of one from each Veda, but this is another one besides the Aham Brahmasmi. Here this is essentially Idam Sarvam Yadayam Atma. The importance of this is, as I said, in all other places, the Brahman is one, has been pointed out. Here it is the self I am is pointed out as everything. Therefore, the Atma Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam Bhavati. Knowing myself, I will know everything because I am nothing but everything is nothing but me only. That statement is proved by this statement, and for this scripture is Pramana. Because who am I inquiring? Remember, I am neglecting everything else as I am not this, and coming up with smaller I am, smaller and smaller and smallest I am. But here now I am including everything now. Sarvam, everything is including me only. Therefore, I have to include everything else. And what I am rejecting only is unnecessarily things of names and forms. I am including everything is nothing but gold. I am rejecting rings and bangles and names and forms and all. I am ignoring that. Not that I don't care. I do wear ring where ring is to be used, and bangle where bangle is to be used. But what I am rejecting is only the importance of superficial importance to the names and forms, ignoring the essence. And all our problems in the world is that, giving importance to the superficial names and forms, ignoring the essence that propagates. And Krishna says, I am there in everyone's heart. The heart is what? Heart is the essence of core of personality. What is my core of personality? I am. Everything else is everything is superimposed. Therefore, I am the very there in the essence, as therefore says the knower is I am the Chedragyam Chapimam Viddhi Sarvachetreshu Bharata. Hey Bharata, I am the knower in all fields of knowledge. Without me as a conscious entity, nothing can be known. And all that is known is only mithya. What is satyam is? Aityadatma vidagam sarvam tat satyam sa atma sa vigneya. That comes in the Chandogya. Idam sarvam, everything is, what is the essence of it? Oh, Swetaketu, that's what Uddalaka is teaching his son. He says, Aitad Atman idagam sarvam tat satyam sa Atma. You are the very essence of everything that you see in this whole world. And this is essentially idam sarvam yadayam Atma. So this is the teaching of Shravana, of our Maitreyi. Now from this next sloka on, Shankara calls it, or this is essentially mananam aspects are involved. Contemplating using examples. There are several examples that are given. And some of the examples, there is a drum example, there is a Shankha example, and there is a Veena example. 3 examples are given. So these are Srushti Sthiti Laya aspects of things are being discussed here. In the Mananam, these are the examples he gives. One is Srushti, another is Sthiti and Laya. And in this, the first 3 examples are for this Sthiti Karanam. Sthiti means from which it came, by exist into which it exists, and that is what. From where it came, he will talk about in the example of Agni and all that, he will tell the creation aspects, and in the next example after that, he talks about the dissolution aspect. And these are the examples he is giving because he says, Idam Yadayam Atma Sarvam, he says, this everything is nothing but me. How? So this is like these examples. So to understand these examples, we need to understand a little bit. Once you understand the example, because the example is more difficult than the illustration. Example is a little bit tougher to understand. But if you understand the basic, then you apply this for all the examples also. So if you understand anything, this is done in the Mandukya Upanishad also. Om Ityeka no, Om Omkara analysis, it is that everything is nothing but Om. Right? So in this we need to understand there is a Samanya and Visesha. And we'll apply this slowly to how this has to do with the Atma. So Samanya and Visesha is involved in everything. What is Samanya and what is Vishesha? Samanya, that is which is common background, and which is Vishesha is there. So if the drum is being played, or Veena is being played, or Shankham is being played, it says there is Samanya and Vishesha. And Vishesha also you can put it. So what is that? When the drum is playing, the drum sound as a background sound is the Samanya. It pervades all the drum sounds. But in that drum sound, I can go high pitch and low pitch and all that. There is a different types of things that I can go. They are Visheshas of that Samanya. Follow now? In other words, if there is a drum, this is true for any instrument. He's only giving the veena or the drum and this is true for any instrument. He says, what is Samanya? That which is bottom line for it, which is a background or a basis on which everything else is coming up, or everything is sustained. And therefore it is a sthiti. So for this up and down in the drum, Shabdas are saying the sounds that are fluctuating sounds, because if it is same sound, you won't find any music there. It has got all those things are there, right, in the ragas also. There's a background noise, ragam is there, but you have arona, all those things. So in the same background of that, Samanya, there is Visheshana superimposed on Samanya for you to recognize these ups and downs. Therefore, in every Visheshana knowledge, there is a Samanya. You are applying the other way around. There is a Samanya means common. On top of Samanya, there is a fluctuations of this distinguishes with that. But in every Visheshana there has to be Samanya also. Background is there, otherwise I cannot see Visheshana. Simple example. All are human beings. Samanya. Right? Everybody. Oh, he is Indian and he is an American. Visheshana. He is Indian, he is American, the Samanya has to be there. All human beings are there, we are talking about. Hopefully. So Samanya is implied in the Visheshana. So when the Visheshana is given, I am only separating this Visheshana from the other Visheshta or from this Visheshta. Visheshta means that which is qualified by the Visheshana. And background, they are all human beings. I guess these are Indians, those are Americans, those are something. We can make it a Visheshta, human beings. Oh, in India, he is from Andhra, and the other fellow is from Mysore, another fellow is Punjab, and fellow, this is, we are making another Visheshta in this Visheshta. You can go on. Oh, he is my Telugu wadu. Andhra, Telugu. So, oh, he is from Andhra. Oh, good. Two Andhra means they talk in Andhra. Love for that coming from. Oh, he is Punjabi, we don't. When I went, first time I went to Calcutta for training from Bangalore. We had to go in engineering class, we had to go summer camp, summer training or something, some industry. So he said, they considered anything below the Mavinjas, he is Madrasi. I said, I'm not from Madras. He said, no, they are Sale Madrasi. So everything that side is the Madrasi guy. First time I came to know that this is what it is. And in South, they say he's North Indian. Everybody is out of above the Vinjas, is North Indian. Why? This is all our classifications. So when I identify myself with the local Visishta, I have love for identification. He is Telugu wadu. Telugu wadu means they the Andhra person. Oh, good, Telugu, all other people are excluded in the process. Oh, he is an Indian, so all Indians get together, other people are excluded automatically. So in the inclusion of this identification with the Visishta, I forget the Samanya. Follow this now? These are the three examples that are giving, I'm just giving the essence, then you know the whole thing also. We can go. Now, what has that to do with the Atman? Remember now why I gave 1 hour or 2 classes of introduction? This is for this sake. Remember the consciousness, all-pervading consciousness, that is Kamanyam. Okay? That which gets reflected in each subtle body is Visheshanam. If I identify myself only with the reflection, forget the Samanyam, that's my problem. You follow now? Where the whole thing is, why Vedanta is becoming so beautifully, example is coming in so in a crystal clear way. But I need this Visheshana to recognize the Samanya. That is not specified here, but that's important. So in every Visishta, there is a Samanya that should be recognized. It is there in the background. In every consciousness, the consciousness is pervading through the mind and reflecting. It is that Samanyam expressing in this Visishta, and the reflection is nothing to do with the Samanyam. Reflection depends upon the reflecting medium. If the medium is dirty, reflection is also not clear. If the medium is agitated all the time, that Visishta is also getting agitated all the time. And if the mind is calm and quiet, all the light gets reflected beautifully. Sada sarvagatopya atma na sarvatra bhasate buddhya veva bhaseta svacheshu pratibimbavat. This is from the Atma book. See, that is all pervading, but it's getting reflected in the buddhi, in the intellect, mind, which is also buddhi, and depending upon the capacity or the cleanness of the buddhi, reflection is. Some are brilliant and bright. Why? Because their mind is clean. All that consciousness is coming out. Some are gloomy. What called in Telugu it's called this is that which is castor oil face. They call it castor oil face. But castor oil face is so gloomy. Why? Because the mind is not clean. So what should I do to clean the mind? Yes, just go to the grocery store and get some cleaning agent and use it. Chittasya suddhaye karma. By karma yoga, I can purify the mind. That is the process. Karma yoga is purification. Where the mind is purified, only when the mind is purified, I can understand srotavya, mantavya, all this scriptural statement. So why people don't come for these yajnas and camps? Because their minds are somewhere else. Even if you tell them and drag them, they cannot sit. They become restless. They want to get out. Why? Because their mind is somewhere else. Only those who can enjoy is the mind where I can see the purity of the value of this knowledge. Then only I can appreciate that. I can see the beauty involved in it. Because it's my own beauty, not somebody else's. It's being revealed, unlavished, as though it is being crystal clear. See, I am that. I am taking myself with the Visishta Chaitanyam, not the Samanya Chaitanyam. Follow? Visishta Samanya Chaitanyam is all-pervading consciousness. I am only taking this reflected consciousness as I am, without it is the consciousness that is without the medium. I cannot recognize the Samanya. Without the drum playing, I cannot recognize Samanya drum. Only ups and down I can see, but ups or down, I have the background of the magic of what is that drum sound is. This is true for Veena, this is true for violin or Shankam. All the three examples essentially trying to differentiate what is Samanyam and what is Visishta. And that is required to know what is ego and what is involved in the ego. Ego is Visishta Chaitanyam. In that I am plus this is involved. This is the Visishta part adding. But using I am, because I need this, otherwise reflection will not be there. Remember that. I need the ego to say that I am not the ego. Who says? To say that also I need the mind. Unfortunately the problem, even to say that I know it, I need the mind. Without the mind, I cannot even say anything. People say, oh, the mind is no more there. The mind is no more there. You are not there anymore. Because even to have the knowledge of this, I need the mind. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho. Mind is required for liberation also, not only the bondage. Therefore, with the mind only, I have to know that I am not the mind. And even to say that I am not the mind, I need the mind. That is the problem, and that is also solution to the problem. If I understand, that's why you need to go to a teacher for which srotavya mantavya. Otherwise, a lot of confusion comes. And that too, what kind of teacher? Is a sampradaya, one who himself has gone to his teacher to learn this. And that all that is comes into picture in the very essence of Vedantic teaching itself. Therefore, with that, if you understand, then this rest of the slokas or the examples are, you can so good. So, sayatha dundubhehe, hanyamanasya, na bahyan shabdan seknuyat grahanaya dundubhehe tu grahanena dundubhya ghatasya va shabdo grihitaha sayatha. Just as, that means this example is illustrating something else. So yatha, just as like this, you have to imagine what exactly involved in the realization of or self-realization. So what is dundubehi anyamanasya na bahyan shabdan shaknuyat grahanaya dundubehi tu grahanena dundubhya gatasya va shabdo grahitaha. So essentially it says this dundubehi anyamanasya, when dundubehi, the drum is being beaten, simply na bahyan shabdan shaknuyat, says that one can listen to this from the bahyan means these fluctuations in the drum can be heard. This is visishta or specific sounds or ups and downs in this one can be grasped only only if you can know this background knowledge, background samanya sound of the drum. So I should know the samanya sabdam before I can identify the fluctuating things in that drum sounds. Sayatha, in the same way, I have to apply now. I have to know that constant consciousness that is all-pervading. When I am recognizing only this ups and downs, that means this is different, he is different, she is different. That means all individuals that I am identifying is individuality or locality with a local. I have to have the constant consciousness, existent consciousness. Without the existence, he cannot exist. Neither I can exist. And without the consciousness, I cannot be conscious of the existence of that person. Right? So consciousness, existence have to play their role, because that's why we went all the details of that. So now we should have the clear understanding of what implies there is a total consciousness, there is a reflected consciousness, and the reflection is further reflected by thoughts. But in all these things, the consciousness is only pervading and practicing. But without the reflection, I cannot realize. So realization is not some consciousness I have to meditate on. You cannot do that. I had to use what's available and recognize the samanyam that pervades the viseshanam. Therefore, Upanishad says, pratibodha viditam matam. In every knowledge this is there. Because without this, knowledge of cannot take place. The consciousness as a samanyam has to be there to recognize the fluctuations in the consciousness. This is this knowledge of this knowledge of this knowledge of this keeps changing. The visishtas are changing. The samanya is the remaining, that I am the consciousness. That consciousness is same in every one of them. That existent consciousness pervades everything. So the other examples are just repetition of the same. But now we are coming to the end of the day. 5 o'clock we stop. Now go back all this. Atmecho va upasita. I had to meditate on Atma. Now what should I meditate on? This becomes now not a upasana, it becomes a nididhyasana now. So the humor of introduction, we give so much of introduction, is only to pick up these things. What? When I leave the class, I should have this knowledge that for me to meditate on what? Atma eva sarvamidam. Everything is nothing but myself alone. Reflected in different viseshtas, different varieties of things and names. the more I dwell on it, the more I become one with it. That it's not just a brainwashing. It is a fact that Scripture is telling. Because Scripture never lies. It says that's what it is and provided logic to it to the degree that one can understand. But now I have to apply it in my regulars as I transact in the world. I have to see that oneness that pervades everything. But if I'm not able to see myself in everything, called Atma, Anatma Vichara, everything is Atma and superposition is only names and forms, which is Anatma. If not, if I cannot see it, at least see the presence of the Lord everywhere. The bhakti. So bhakti becomes a vehicle here. That's why Krishna gives you 2 slokas, one after the other. If you go to 6th chapter, I already quoted, it says, Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvancha mai pasyati tasyaham na pranasyami sadamena pranasyati. The one who sees me everywhere, Yomam pasyati sarvatra, who sees me everywhere. Sarvancha mai pasyati, who sees everything in me. He never is away from me because he is in me only. That is from the bhakti point. Then there is no more I anymore. Only Lord alone is. That's also Advaita. Lord alone is. What is that? Is nature of consciousness existence. I am also for that. That is easier to invoke the presence of the Lord in everybody. But as I become more and more involved, says, what exactly is the Lord? Who is that mom? Yo mom pasyati, who is that mom? Some Krishna up there somewhere in the Krishna consciousness in the Vrindavan somewhere. That is nothing but he is existent consciousness only. Everything is, I am this Gatir Bharta, Prabhu Sakshi. I am the whole goal, I am the end, I am the beginning. I am the very Sakshi of everything. Consciousness, I am the witnessing consciousness of everything. Remember in the morning meditation I am talking about consciousness. How can I be a witnessing of the body, mind and all that? Now that is that is the Lord also. That's the Lord. Or go to the next sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani cha matmani. Same statement. He changes immediately in the next sloka only. If you go to 6th chapter, you will see. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani cha atmani. Exactly same statement. All beings are nothing but I, Atma, the self that I am, and all are in me only. Because they rise in me, sustained by me, they go back into me. All objects are nothing but the thoughts in my mind are rising in my consciousness, and I am that consciousness. It's not my consciousness, it is me consciousness. That also is way of remembering this knowledge constantly to the degree, and as you see, initially it is difficult. You may say, as soon as you go 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you will remember, yes, Sadaji told, therefore this, let me sit down and do this. Say everything is nothing but Atma, or everything nothing but Lord. As soon as somebody starts scolding you, all this is gone. Therefore, Krishna also knows this problem. He says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha krishnate. It's practice. Abhyasa is practice. Whenever you remember that you have gone out of this, bring it back. To bring it back, listen to some more so that mind again goes into this. Because you are involved in so much, it is difficult to remember this during transactions. So keep coming to the Chinmaya mission at least. listening to the strictures, one way or other, go to Mahatmas. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktaha. So satsang is what? Listening to the song of this Sat Swarupam, of that expressed either in the lectures or in the books or in your mind or in your teaching in any way. Is nissangata, detachment of everything. Nissangate, all the delusions goes away. Nirmohatvam, nirmohatve, nischalata, the mind becomes calm and quiet without any perturbations, so that the consciousness beams through all the time, because mind is still required. Nischalatatve jivan mukta. So that is he's going to talk about more about this Srishti Sthiti Laya aspects of it in this, where more and more very scriptive statements are making, Yajnavalkya makes to Maitreyi. That's why Maitreyi Brahmana is so beautifully, and the essence of whole Brihadaranyaka is in this, and Brihadaranyaka itself is the essence of the whole Vedanta. So it's very fortunate that we are doing this text, and for those who come, we will have the rest of the slokas that we will do. For those who are not coming, keep this teaching in mind. For whatever reasons you are not, because there are so many other constraints that you have no control on. So those who are not coming, those who want to give, if you have gained something, if you not gained something, forget it. Only if you have gained some knowledge, it is important as per the tradition to offer something to that organization that provide you this knowledge. So that is part, that's why we have presentations and all that. So those who are not coming only, you offer something, and there will be some Guru Dakshina, I mean from the Yajna Prasad will be there. Take it so that you remember, whenever you look at it, you have to start remembering. Say, I am everything, all those teaching has to be remembered. So with that, we'll stop and we'll do the Purnamadana. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Sishyate.